example, why I brought the Njoroge case. And also, I wanted just people to understand, like, even importance of, like, guys to control, like, even just their emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
You see, what he did, at least know that we're in a country where, like, now this is up for discussion and everything. Look at a space where, like, Black Americans, when you just asked for a driving license and you're about to remove it, like, from your pocket like this, and you're shot.
You're shot.
Think about if Ian, and I'm just saying this is just like an example. Think about it like if maybe he's set free and everything, but if, let's say, he lands in America, he needs to understand as a Black person, you cannot for a second think of even looking at a cop badly with a suggestive manner, because he is ready. And Kenyan cops are actually nice. Let me just put one thing. One thing that I can, even just as I'm still explaining that, we have some of the best policemen in the world.
Yeah.
Because before a Kenyan cop takes a gun like this to shoot someone, you have to be like a notorious thug.
A very notorious one.
A notorious thug. Otherwise, for you can wrestle with them, you can And remember, they can still take that weapon and shoot you, by the way.
You can argue with them.
You can argue. You can do all the things. Even now, you can put them on TikTok and any. Cops will always control themselves, like, till they really need to get physical.
Yeah.
You know, this slapping and any. Trust me, that's a pass. Because other countries, they shoot you or they put you inside and the fines are crazy. Like, you get 10, 15 years, 20 years.
It's easier for them to shoot you than to slap you. And the law protects them for doing that. Yeah.
Like, you know, resisting arrest, reasonable doubt to do sijui he shoots you.
He was escalating the situation.
Yeah.
Sir, stop escalating the situation. Take out a gun.
Shot.
Shoot you.
And
this happens.
Just small things. Just understand, we have cops. I think there's also like a video I saw. I don't know if you saw this. There's, I think, cops who had come. They had been called and they had come to try and dissolve a situation where there were some girls or ladies who are drunk and disorderly in some certain apartments.
Yeah.
So I could see the cop is actually holding a gun. Remember, this is a cop who's holding like something like that looks like an AK-47, right?
Yeah.
And then this lady proceeds to slap the cop
Just
and jump on him. And actually, the cop is wrestling with the girl, like even putting her aside. The cop actually had to go, take the gun and put aside so that the friend can come in, so that he can actually... In the States, you need to understand, you're dead. You're dead immediately. You're dead.
Yeah,
dead.
As long as you're making any effort to try to reach to him even physically, he's allowed to just take the gun and shoot you. Fuck, most of them do that.
Actually, they'd be like, why am I wasting my time? They'll just shoot you and it's like, okay, sawa, you resisted, you tried to attack me or reach to my weapon. So all those things. So also, like, we're not saying like Kenyan cops are bad, but understand, we have a culture that we have to deal with it. But let's also not downplay the passes that Kenyan cops give us.
Yeah, you have seen about this shooting that happened in...
Was it
Makadara?
The magistrate was...
The magistrate was shot. And who came to the aid to protect the magistrate? The cops. So what happened is that the magistrate was shot.
Yeah.
The magistrate, let me just take it back a little bit.
Okay.
There was a ruling. It was just about detention and everything to do with the bond and bail. So the wife of the OCS had been having a certain case where she obtained 1.25 million through false pretense.
Okay.
So there was supposed to be a ruling. She was freed on bond, but there was supposed to be a ruling on the forfeiture of the bond because she did not turn up in court. And she gave a reason during the first hearing. She said that she was in hospital, she had cancer, and she was
receiving treatment.
Yeah, receiving treatment and all that. But when the IO was sent to investigate the documents of the hospital, it was found to be fake. She absconded court willingly.
Okay.
So the husband is an OCS and he also came there. And because he was frustrated, and you just also know the mentality that he had is also an OCS. Why is the judge treating him like that? So the judge went on to rule and say that you lied before the court and you are under oath. We have taken the bond. We have forfeited it to the state. That is where the husband got hungry. So while the magistrate was getting out, it was in a tent because there were so many people interested in the case. So while the magistrate was getting out, The cop also followed him, and he started shooting at the magistrate. The magistrate was shot almost 3 times. It was with an intention of killing the magistrate. Guess who sprang up to save the magistrate?
Of course, the cops.
2 cops sprang up.
Who are also hurt in that.
They were hurt. They were shot. One was shot in the leg. Another one was shot in the belly.
Yeah.
And they helped the magistrate, protecting him, guarding her. It was her.
Yeah.
Guarding her. And she did not die because of that. And the cop was also shot.
You see, that's why I'm talking about. Like, I would never. The only thing that I'm always saying is like, for me, I just stay out of the way of cops.
Yeah.
Just let them do their job, and also understand they're also coming up with. They have their own personal frustrations. We understand they're also always trying to get their salaries.
They're not paid enough.
They're not paid enough. Even just to deal with what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Look at their working conditions, even living conditions. Let's just think about it.
If you go to even a police camp, they literally live in, I don't know what, Mabati or something.
And some even have the splitted nini room thing
Just
for
look at that.
different families. So you also have to put into consideration for what they have to process every single day, what they're dealing with. And also, we can't just say like that thing, and that's why I was saying like I didn't want to celebrate that thing because a lot of people were celebrating.
Yeah.
Because for me, I was like, we also have to understand like we actually live in a country where you can just walk around. It's safe. It's safe to say the least. Like, of course, there's some places where they are dangerous, but to be fair enough, like Kenya is actually like just a safe country. Of course, if you're going through northeastern, there's some places where like you'll have like Kenya
is generally safe.
If you compare to other places, even in London, people are getting stabbed just in the middle of the street.
Kenya is safer than the UK.
In the States, we're talking about in a country where you can go and buy a gun. And I can go and buy a gun. I have an ID in it. I can just go and buy it. I have what is it called? The right to bear a firearm. And even just show it here. So imagine I find somebody cheating on my girlfriend cheating on me.
And you're provoked.
And I'm provoked.
Or you get into a fight with someone in a club. Simple fight.
Shoot.
And he shoots you.
Yeah.
It can't happen in Kenya.
It doesn't.
Because even the laws are stricter for you to own a firearm.
To own a firearm. It's not just for everyone. So like just understand, like we also have like the cops have also done a really good job for us to feel safe, to talk the way we want, to express ourselves, to go where we want. We can take road trips here and there. Let's not forget about the good things that other countries lack and they're really suffering from because their cops do things differently from ours. Yeah. So we just need to figure out how to coexist. Cops are not bad people. We do have bad cops. We have good cops. We have bad people and we have good people. But we still have to maintain a way that we can coexist. But the only way that peace is there is because there's this person with a gun who's there to protect and serve you as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's definitely true. That is why I also made a video on my TikTok just reiterating. I had addressed the media about Ian Njoroge, but it was just a small part of it. That's why I had to go to TikTok back and tell people, you know what? We were just not supporting the injustice.
Yeah.
Like if Njoroge, did it, he has to be punished by law.
Yeah.
He has to go to prison. But you cannot torture someone.
Yeah.
That is something that was done in the medieval times and we are way over it. Yeah. If you're torturing someone, then what is the need of the judicial system itself to punish him through prison? Yeah. So I was not supporting the injustice itself. That is why I reiterated and said it was also wrong for Njoroge to beat up someone who's defenseless. Also when in law and you're relying something about self-defense, it has a limit. Yeah. If someone is incapacitated and he cannot move, if you continue beating him up, then it becomes unlawful now.
And you know why it's even very sensitive? People don't understand, like, what if that cop died?
Exactly.
You know how, like, this story would have been completely different. It would have been so bad for him, so bad. Because, like, even if it's the law and everything, I don't know how much amount of money he would have paid to get out of that. But trust me, it would have been horrible.
It would have been horrible. Even just morally wrong, a lot of people would not have sided with him.
Of course.
That is 100%. Because they would now start thinking about the family of the person, of which we have seen he was aged about 50 years or something. It would have been completely different. That's why we just have to critically look at certain things.
Think about them, man. It's not just about what we see, what the law is, what's for entertainment.
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, remember, if he's given like a bail of 700,000, what if the family doesn't have that? Like we've said, so many other situations, there are people who are still inside because that bail amount even, and the hearing keeps being pushed forward and forward. And like we said, let's also not forget the culture and country that we're in. There are so many other things that can be shifted to go sideways, so that you can serve as an example to your friends and those people who are cheering online, because people can cheer you online. But what if he has to serve 5 years inside? Will they be with you in committee? No, in fact, you go inside, the next day, people have moved to a different topic of discussion. So let's not get caught up with the hype of what the internet is as well, but also just think about like what's right. Because like I think 2 days later, there's somebody who had beaten like a female cop.
Yeah, it happened again.
And Paka, I'm like, yo, come on. Now, this is just being ridiculous, because understand, they are not your enemies, and there are ways of... And that's why I keep saying, like, just go back to emotional intelligence. And let me even say, like, even as men, we can control the situation before it gets too bad. Yani.
In fact, that's the best aspect about emotional intelligence. Even I say right now, even if someone was to kill my beloved in front of me, I would not be provoked to the sense that I would kill him. Yeah. I would understand the situation, even though maybe trying to confront him or everything. But I still understand the consequences myself of what is going to be there. That any type of provocation cannot lead me to do something that is inconsequential to the real situation. So even no matter how I was provoked by that police at that time, I would have said something, yes, but to the point I'm beating him up and everything, no. That is where now emotional intelligence is also important.
In fact, when was the last time you've ever seen something like that? I can't remember. I cannot remember, like, and understand, just because he did that, but also understand how it puts other young people and men at risk. Because now cops will be like, now we can't have this happen again. Because like a perfect example was like, I think, who was it? Is it Babu who said it? He said like, okay, if a cop is being beaten like this, sasa wakienda Haiti, and now imagine like the whole... Even just think about it. Even like the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He's looking at it, he's like, okay, police, we can't have anyone beating up the cops. Now they put instructions to them, probably where they're like, if anybody tries to do anything physically to you, shoot.
You see that we don't want that in Kenya.
We don't. Are you ready for that? That's what I'm saying. Like, are people ready for that? Because if that's implemented, then what next?
Because
what next?
If now they're given orders, now that there is unlawfulness and there is imminent danger to the police, in case of anything, shoot. Just shoot.
Yeah, shoot.
I believe that is something we do not want.
We don't want that. Trust me, we don't want. So let's just think about like how, as men, and especially young men, we're going through so much stuff, but we can control a lot of things, because it all starts like just from the head. Just control yourself. Just learn how to control and contain yourself. Because, and like I've said, like there are so many things that I want us to touch on, but we definitely have to wrap it up for now. Because let's let people, digest this and save like, the next, we can do something else also.
Yeah,
like
we can do
next
something
month,
else. Right? Yes, politics.